recording. So they should both be up and running. And while we are sharing these,
right?
Yeah, it is.
Awesome.
It should be coming up in just a
See
second.
if I can find it.
And while that's coming up, you just got back from somewhere near Nashville.
Yeah.
Not Nashville proper, you said.
No. I spent a few hours there, grabbed some lunch, and I walked down Broadway as you do whenever you get to Nashville. You got to do the whole Broadway experience, no matter how many times you've been there. But no, I was staying at a friend of our's house just outside of Nashville, in Nolensville. So in the studio I was in Sunset Boulevard Studios was in Brentwood, Tennessee, which is about, both of them compared, they're roughly 15-20 minutes outside of Nashville, so it's about the same distance as Franklin,
Okay.
And it was really great. Steve Dady was the engineer that we used, and phenomenal. He's done a lot of work with guys like Stephen Curtis Chapman, Keith Urban, a big name he's worked with, and he's a phenomenal engineer, phenomenal guy, great person, and the musicians that we had on the album were just A-list players.
So I'm sure.
And it came out really great, and we're really excited about it. So
That's awesome. What's the name of it?
the album, we're still up in the air about it. We recorded 3 full band songs, and I got to go into a studio down here next week and record 2 acoustic songs. It's going to be a 5-song EP.
Nice.
And then we're thinking that the title track is going to be either Take It Slow or Numbers. So, and there's one that we really wanted it to be, but which was It Ain't Over Yet, which is the one that pretty much was a staple it's the one I played for them that really made them want to invest in it. Mm-hmm. But after they heard Numbers and Take It Slow, they said, we really think you should go in a different direction. And we got a little bit of time. We got a couple weeks before, because we got a vocalist who's going to come down. She's actually come down to play a few shows with me this week. Miss Melanie Maroney, phenomenal songwriter, great vocalist.
Awesome.
And she's going to come down this week and play some shows with me later in the week. And she sent me a track of her singing some background vocals over it. And it sounded awesome, so we're going to try and get her together with Steve and see if she can lay them down. And then as soon as that gets done, and as soon as I get these acoustic songs done, off to the mixing it goes. And we're shooting for first, second week of March, so an early spring release is what we're shooting for. So
Nice.
Awesome. And we're excited about it, we really are. So.
That sounds very cool, man. Very, very cool. So it's going to be a busy year for you. Are you lining up tour dates and everything?
Not yet. We're waiting on we're waiting to see what happens with it, what the response is and everything. And we're working with someone up there in Nashville. Can't say who it is right now, but we're working with a lady who's an artist, developer, staff manager, and / promoter, marketer. She's a jack of all trades, and hopefully through her we can get some dates lined up with some festivals and stuff like that, just to keep the ball running. But right now it's one of those things that just of course I want the CD release or album release to be here somewhere at a local bar, and then from there we're just gonna see what happens. So. And I think we talked about this earlier before we started. I was like, you ever have one of those moments when it's just, something happens and it hasn't really hit you, that it's starting to hit me right now. So my manager on the way back, on the drive down, she asked me, she said, are you okay? You don't like it? You like it? And I was listening to it. I bugged her so bad. I played it for like 4 hours straight on the way back. I was like, you like it? You sure you like it? She's like, yeah, it's awesome. But she said, you don't seem really excited. I said, it just hasn't hit me yet. And then I woke up this morning and I was like, oh my God, I got an album. I'm like, I recorded. I'm in the studio. So now it's a really cool, for a guy like me who's been, my entire life has been about music and write my stuff and wanting someone to take notice and be able to do my own stuff, and for it to be happening now at this period of my life when I'm really getting a lot of support from a lot of people as far as fans go, and not just fans that are just, you're an awesome person, but they're just fans who have been around for a long time, who have shown me a lot of support right now. It's awesome for me right now. So
that's great, man.
I'm excited.
Yeah, speaking of support, Jonathan Puzon, I saw the comment come up. He said, you're beautiful. So you're beautiful, Tony.
Oh, well, here we go. Let me take a look. There we go. There it is. I found it. So, okay.
I saw the comment come up.
Let's turn that down. I don't want none of that. So,
come on, you're a professional now, Tony.
Yes, let's get that together. No, but no, it's fun. We're looking forward to it. Kim, my manager, just signed on, is watching too. So, hello, Kim. Thank you for everything you do. So. But
tell everybody how to find your music.
My music right now is we can't release the rough mixes yet because of copyright reasons and everything. But I've got videos of my originals on my YouTube. Tony Ray Thompson, YouTube/Tony Ray Thompson. You can find it on my music profile, which would be YouTube or Facebook/Tony Ray Thompson. And I got a Reverb Nation page, Reverb Nation/Tony Ray Thompson, and got an Instagram and everything like that. But as far as dates and everything, and the videos and everything like that goes, that's basically where you want to go. If you just look me up on Facebook, all my accounts are linked to that. So, and Kim is phenomenal I can't stress enough. You know Kim, she was formerly with the Whitecaps, and I can't stress enough how much Kim has done more for me in 1 month than I've done for myself in 5 years.
Wow, that's great.
Which is either saying a lot about her or very little about me. So, but no, she's a very awesome person. She's very dedicated, and she's perfect for what I need right now, and she's exactly what I need. And she's doing an amazing job, and I couldn't be more thrilled or happy to work with her. So,
that's great, man.
So, but yeah, we're shooting for an early spring release, second week in March, and then whatever happens after that, it's up to the universe, you know. So,
well, up to the universe and what you decide you want to do with it.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. So, but
I feel like So that's what you've got going on music-wise.
Yeah.
What else is going on in your world? I mean, I ran into you at a comedy show of all places.
Yeah.
Here at the back porch.
Yeah, it was awesome too because I was hanging out with a couple friends of mine at the time, and we're still friends, and we're still hanging out and seeing each other. But we were just a couple friends that came to a show. I think it was that Wednesday night. Me and Buddy were playing a show. It was either me and Kevin Swanson or me and Bruce Smelly were playing a show up in the main room. And they came out, they hung out, had a great time. And then they called me and said, hey, we're actually going to go out on Friday. And we're going to go have some drinks, hang out downtown. And we want to go to a comedy show downtown. And I knew, and for some odd reason, it didn't register me because I knew you were down here just about every other week or every week. And I was like, it just didn't hit me until I walked in the door and I saw the kilt. I said, no way. And I got the biggest, I was like, I needed this. Like the people I was with, they said, are you okay? I said, no, that's a good brother of mine, man. I said, I haven't seen that guy in a minute. So
yeah, I was shocked to see you, man.
It was cool because, I mean, lately, I mean, you know this as a musician, and you were involved very heavily with it for a long time. And, but as a musician, this time of year is kind of like the down season when you try and make ends meet and everything like that. But luckily for me, I'm very, very blessed and very lucky to say that I've been keeping very busy. And every chance I can just to relax or go out, because I don't go out that much. When I go out, I mean, when I'm out on a stage or I'm out writing or something like that, I'd rather relax and stay at home, spend time with my dog, you know. And this particular night, I was like, I want to go out, have a few drinks, have a good time, hang out with some friends. And that just happened to be one of those nights that I just enjoyed hanging out. And luckily, I mean, like I said, I'm very blessed to say that, I mean, right now I don't get many of those nights because I'm committed to work and I'm doing so well right now, which is really good, and I'm very blessed for that. But yeah, I mean, I'm just staying busy, doing writing, doing the whole, working on album covers, working on t-shirts, which I got to get you a t-shirt.
Yeah,
I gotta
please.
Get you a t-shirt, yes.
Please.
And, but yeah, just mostly right now, everything's just ever since I took it back because I was primarily a guitar player, you know this, for a long time for a lot of local acts. And I took a step back and said, you know what? I said, I'm ready to start focusing on my music and my career and where I want myself to be, where I envision myself being. So when I took a step back and then I approached it from a different standpoint, everything just a lot of doors started opening up, and it's good. It's good. I'm having a blast with it. So, but as far as life goes, I'm loving life right now.
Yeah,
I am. I'm enjoying every bit of it. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of work, but if you love something, you got to put in the time and care to tender it and let it grow. So, but I'm doing good. So,
what about me?
Yeah, what about you?
Is this episode about me now?
No, it's not about you. I was just trying to be friendly.
Man, I am doing a lot of as much stand-up comedy as I can.
Saw that.
There's usually 3-4 open mics a week in the area, or 3 or 4 shows a week. And the back porch, which is where we're at now.
Yeah.
The Days Inn, downtown Pensacola. The Back Porch Comedy Crew is freaking awesome. These guys have been building a scene for about 5 years now. Yeah. And so when I decided I was going to come do it, there they were.
Who was the guy that left? It was like his final show that night.
JJ Curry.
JJ Curry. Like me and there were three of us who were sitting there. He had his rolling, man. He was good. He was good. So
I interviewed JJ the week before he left. Yeah. And the stuff that he's got on YouTube is hilarious. Yeah. And the night you guys were here, he didn't even do his killer closing.
Really?
Like he was
killing it too. Yeah.
Oh man, and he's so tore it up. Yeah. JJ Curry, Jaquarius. Yeah. I always fuck it up, but I had to try because it'll make him laugh when he hears it.
So, cause I'm a huge fan of comedy, and I'm a huge fan of. I love anyone who has the balls to get on stage and do what they love. I mean, because a lot of people don't realize it takes a lot of balls to get up on stage, and once you get past the idea of like, oh my god, I'm gonna mess up. Once you go, fuck it, I'm just gonna do what I love. Then I have mad respect for anyone who does that, whether you're a dancer, or a singer, a comedian, even an artist or a performer or something like that. And he had me rolling that night. I was looking over, and I'd been drinking, but I was sitting there, I was like, this guy's hilarious. Like, I was alone, but no, he was awesome, and I'm definitely going to be coming back sometime. When is what nights are these again?
Friday nights. Yeah. Always the showcase, the Back Porch Showcase. This weekend, I can't remember her name, but if you go to Back Porch Comedy on Facebook or at Back Porch Comedy on Twitter, I can't remember the young lady's name, but at 9 o'clock, the show will start about 9:30. We have an out-of-town comedian that's going to be here, and she is from what I've heard, the people that have seen her before really enjoyed her. And
awesome.
I know the guys and girls at Back Porch Comedy that handle the booking, and they don't bring in people that don't crush.
Yeah, awesome.
Because they're great comics themselves. Yeah. So they've got good taste.
Yeah, awesome.
And so it works out really well. So Friday nights there's always a showcase, and then after that there's local comedians hosted by Ryan Pfeiffer doing the Rated R comedy show. So it's comedy all night long, and it's hilarious. Yeah, because. Ryan will sometimes get his brother Jason to come in, and they'll do different themes. Sometimes we'll have drummers. Jason's a drummer, so he'll bring in his brother and do Rimshot Night and a couple other. I can't remember any of the other themes at the moment, but I do know there's a gerbil on one of the Facebook posters. If that gives you any indications. Okay. It gets entertaining. But so the Back Porch, and then if anybody's interested in the rest of the comedy scene, over in Mobile, the Attic at the Blind Mule has a great open mic, and the Listening Room in Mobile does some stand-up comedy from time to time. Whatever Comedy in Mobile is a good one to follow on Facebook, and I'm sure I'm leaving some people out, but if you look me up on Facebook, or Back Porch Comedy, I post most of their stuff, so if you're interested, there's plenty of ways to catch up. Tuesday is the other fun night. Tuesday open mic here at the Back Porch is when we all try out new stuff. Yeah. And so it can get very awkward. Sometimes it's just us making jokes about us not making jokes well.
Yeah. That's cool.
Well, it's a really good time, but it is awesome, and it's something that Phobes brought up yesterday or a couple days ago.
I saw he was on your last one, wasn't he? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now that I've started writing jokes,
he's awesome. Indeed. He's an amazing musician. Yeah.
And now that I've started writing jokes, I've gotten into the realm of property, intellectual property, and being recorded and recording stuff, and it's fascinating to me how even my opinion changed from switching sides on the microphone. Mm-hmm. I've had pretty much the same opinion, but I look at it from a whole other standpoint now. Yeah. And things going out unpolished and unrefined. Yeah. I don't have to worry about copyright laws the way that you guys do, and and plays. Justin was talking about somebody recording him playing a cover and him being held accountable for it. Comedians don't have to worry about that, because if you cover somebody else's jokes, your career's kind of over. That's not a thing.
Yeah, you don't want to walk in there talking about something. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Don't want to do that. But playing original music, you don't want to. For me, I haven't posted any of my stuff that I've recorded because it doesn't feel finished.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
When is it ever done?
It's never done. Ever. It's never done. No. Well, for me as a songwriter, the finished product evidently a finished product is when it's on the album. And even
you're not allowed to touch it anymore?
Yeah, it's done. You can't do anything with it. So, but even up to that standpoint, it was just like me. I was in the studio. I was in the studio this past week, and we were sitting there, and I was doing vocals, and I'm sitting there with a pen, like, just editing stuff and everything. Well, I'm just going to take this part out. We're just going to what's going to go with this, that, and the other. Mm-hmm. And for me, a songwriting, it's not a process where, and there's some amazing songwriters, Davis Nix, Kyle Wilson, Brent Loper, Justin Phobes, Ron Hart, all that, all them. And there's some great songwriters that out there, they can just sit down and spit out songs like that. Me, my way of writing a song is me writing 57 snippets of different songs and then throwing them all together. And there's some times where I'll sit there and just by happen chance I'll sit there in the middle of the night and a song will come out and it'll just be, that's it. Don't just leave it. Don't touch it. Don't think about it. Don't overthink about it. If you overthink about it, you're gonna mess it up.
Oh yeah.
So, and no, but for me, just I don't think anything is ever really finished until you put that stamp on it. Mm-hmm. And even when you put the stamp on it, you can have the stamp there. You just like you go back and you edit something out. But I mean, original music, it's of course you want it to be the very best it is because it's your representation of yourself. Or it could be either that or there's some songwriters out there who make a very good living writing for other people, and there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, I've never been defined myself as someone who's a songwriter for another person. Yeah. Every song that I write, and all these songs on this album that's coming out, they're all songs about my life. There's one song on there that people are just like, you really should hold some of that. I'm like, no, you really shouldn't tell people. I'm like, no. There's a line in one of the songs says, the hell I raised when I got my first DUI when I turned 20 on my 21st birthday.
Yeah, and
people are just like. Yeah, well, I told him, I said, I'm an open book. I said, I don't care. So, and my songs are about my life. They're about my experiences. And every single, and granted, there are some lines you add that are just, not, they just make it sound good or they reflect really well in the songs. But as for me as a songwriter, majority, if not all of my songs are about my life and they're about my experiences and everything, and I'm never going to lie in any of my songs. That's just when my personal life and my business life are two completely different things. When I'm on stage, I'm one guy. When I'm off stage with whoever I'm with at home or hanging out with friends, I'm someone completely different. And that's not that I'm saying that I'm putting a front on. That's just saying when I'm hanging out with my friends, it's my time. That's me.
Right.
But when it comes to music and me recording my music and writing my music and stuff like that, I don't think it's ever really finished because you never know what's going to happen. There was a song that took me, one of the songs on this album, It Ain't Over Yet, took me 3 years to write because I grew up, me and my family, there was my parents grew up fighting. We grew up in a loving household. They wanted the best for us, and they made sure that we never went without, and we never did go without. We had everything that we needed, but there was a really heated argument that happened with my parents when I was 17 years old, a week before my 18th birthday, and that was really a big turning point in my life. There was a shift that took place in my family, and 3 years later, Right when I got into the music scene, I was about 21, 22, I wanted to do a little writing, and I started writing this song, and I didn't finish it for 3 or 4 years later because it took me that while. Because when you're in your 20s and your young 20s, you're foolish, you're still adolescent in intellectual thoughts and stuff like that, so I couldn't really grasp the idea. I understood why everything was happening, but I couldn't grasp the idea, of life yet. So I hadn't lived. So after I had lived and everything, and I had been through the experiences, and once you reach that point, you're like, God, Dad was right, or Mom is right, or something like that. That's when I really started reevaluating the song, and that it comes back around to saying it's never going to be finished until you put that stamp on it. And sometimes some song might take 3 hours, some song might take 3 years, some song might take 3 decades to write, because of all the experiences you have. But it's just one of those. For me, intellectual copyright is one thing, and intellectual copyright and original, like your music copyright, they can go hand in hand because you want it to be, everything it's your thoughts and everything like that. And as a songwriter, if you're staying true to who you are, I believe that it's more of your heart than your thought. So it's just about, it's never finished. It's never finished unless you put that stamp on it, unless you record it and you walk away. When you walk away from an album or walk away from a session, be like, you feel like you didn't hold anything back, then that's when I think it's finished.
Now, when you say session, do you mean a recording session or
a recording session or a writing session or something like that? Because
do you do more writing as open sessions with other people, or do you do more writing on your own?
Majority of my writing, because I have around 30, 40 original songs that I've written, and but as far as that I've written personally, and I've done a couple co-writes with some friends. You remember Rhodey?
Yeah,
you remember Rhodey? Me and Russell, and me and him wrote a really out there song. We were out there. We were at a karaoke one night, and we went back to the house, and we were cooking steaks on the grill at 2:00 in the morning, and we were drinking and smoking, and we were sitting there, and we were just like. I started fumbling around on the guitar part, and I just started mumbling out lyrics, and he started throwing out lyrics, and that was like that was just a couple years ago. That was one of my first experiences as far as co-writing with, and he's not a musician, so. But then I've set up co-writes with some other people, and for me, co-writing with someone, it's more about having to feel. Before I co-write with someone, I like to hang out with them and get a feel for them as a person, and that's what I did. The first time I went to Nashville a month ago, I went to Maroney. That girl's gonna be coming down. She's gonna be doing some shows with me this week. We met the first time last month when I was up there, beginning of the month, and they wanted us to get together and do some writing. But what wound up happening is we just wound up meeting at a relative's house of the lady I was staying with, and we ate, we hung out. I played some of my songs there for them. Then we went back to the house we were staying at, and we were all sitting there, and there was no guitar, there was no pen. Like halfway through it, I got a song idea, and I had to burn it out on a piece of paper real quick. But we were just sitting there. We made a few drinks. We were just sitting there talking. Everyone was talking and hanging out. And before I work with someone on that level, I like to get an idea of who they are as a person and whether or not I vibe with them or whether or not there's going to be a connection there. And she's an awesome person. And she came into the studio the first night I was there last Thursday, and she was sitting there listening and everything. And then when I called her, when I finished the song, I was like, I really heard her voice on this song. And I'm very happy to say that she's going to be laying the vocals down sometime soon. But with her, me and her are going to be doing some co-writing sometime in the future, maybe when she comes down here. But as far as me co-writing with someone, it has a lot to do with whether or not we connect, we vibe. I mean, we hang out, and it's just the same way as I am with guys in a band. I don't want to be in a band with a bunch of guys that I can't get off stage and have a beer or a shot with and just hang out with. So, but I mean, as far as writing by myself, majority of my stuff I do on my own, and there's a fraction of it I do with other co-writers and stuff like that. But for right now, everything that's on this album I did all myself. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's a lot of writing. Like I said, I'm kind of understanding what goes into good writing, and I'm real good at overwriting stuff. Yeah. And so getting things refined.
Yeah, and there's been times where, I mean, I'm the most self-demeaning person in the world. You can ask my manager. I'm the most. It can come out sounding beautiful, and I'm like, I hate it. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's terrible. And when she takes pictures of me, she's like, "This is such a great picture." I'm like, "Don't post that. Don't do that." So, but with me, like. And I think everyone has that side of them. We're our own worst enemies,
Yeah, hypercritical. It can be good.
Yeah, it can be good, but at the same times it could be bad. But for me, I'm finding myself comparing myself, and I try not to do it because I understand there's always going to be someone better than me out there. I mean, like I'm a guitar player by nature, and there's this kid that's in my band, Palmetto Drive. He's his name's Caleb Adam Murph.
I didn't want to guess, but yeah, Caleb's fucking awesome.
Caleb, yes, Caleb Adam Murph, you phenom. He's 19 years old, and this kid's got hands better than I ever had. I mean, he's all up and down the neck, and he's a wizard. Yeah, and he's a wizard. He's a magician. But I mean, he's still got a lot to learn, as in we all do. and everything like that. He's young and he's fast, and he's an amazing guitar player, but he still has a lot to learn. I still have a lot to learn. I think everyone else still has a lot to learn as far as playing guitars and everything like that. Larry Hadley, pedal steel player for Jason Justice.
Yeah, man.
He recently started taking lessons for pedal steel. I'm like,
there are a couple of guys that are doing that.
Yeah,
I think Swanson was taking.
Swanson was taking. I think Larry was giving Swanson lessons. Yeah,
I think so.
But it really instilled the fact in me, just like, and I know they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but Larry Hadley's like as good as they come. He's awesome. He's a legend, and the fact that he, at his age, being as seasoned as he is, deciding that he wants to go back and take lessons is amazing. So that just reiterates the fact that no one's gonna, you're never gonna stop learning. But as far as going back to the original question, like overriding or something like that, I don't like doing that. I don't like comparing myself to other writers or anything. And there are songs by other writers. Majority of my favorite songs are by guys that aren't on the radio. Yeah. Kyle Wilson. Mm-hmm. He has a song called "The Coast Is Clear." My favorite song of all time right now. I love it. I'm in love with that song. And Mark Sherrill has a song called "I Got a Strong Weakness for You." Yeah. And I love it. And the songs, and it's great. I love that song. But for me, my songs that I sing, they're for me. So I don't have to compare myself. And I mean, there are guys out there that I joke around saying they throw away better lines that I can write. Yeah. But when you say that, it kind of degrades you to a point, and I'm the kind of guy that I'm like, I realize that there's going to be better players out there. There's going to be better writers out there. There's going to be guys who are better at what they do, but there's no one who's going to be better at being me than me. Mm-hmm. So my writing and my skill set and my playing and my singing is my forte.
Right.
So. But as far as overwriting and stuff like that, there are times where I'll sit there and be like, "Hey, this will sound good. This will rhyme with that." Like, no, you're not writing. You're writing.
Yeah.
So
tossing out words.
You're tossing out words.
Thanks, Hamlet.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Right. So no, but as far as overwriting and stuff like that, I mean, I've had a tendency to do that, but those songs at the end of the day wind up sitting on the back burner for 5 years or 3 years, and then you wind up going back and be like, breaking it down and keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah. Well, so. I learned, if I get up on a microphone and am trying to work through a new bit or work through a new part of a new story or get a piece of an idea out, it is so much more obvious when you're standing in front of people which words you don't need.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Word by word, you're like, what a waste. Yeah. What a waste. Yeah. Am I ever going to get there? Like, I'm 3 words away and it's going to be next week.
Yes. There's been times where I've been playing a song where I'll send my song. Every time I write a song now, I send it to my manager. I send it to Kim. Mm-hmm. I'm like, hey, what do you think of this? And she was like, I love it. And I think she's just saying that just to keep me built up. Yeah. But then there are times where I'll sit there and I'll go play the song for the first time, and this will be right after I play a song that's really good. Like I'll play Numbers or I'll play Ain't Over Yet, right. And those songs already have a following. We've got people, which is awesome, that people request those songs.
Gotta hook them.
You gotta hook them. And I said, you'll like this song. Well, here's a new song. Like, okay, and I'll play it. They be like, yeah, that was okay. So, and then I get past the point. Like I used to be one of those guys that every time I did that, I'd be like, oh well, shit. So, well, there goes my esteem right there. But no, like I realize now that that's gonna happen. I mean, you're gonna have home runs, you're gonna have ground doubles, you're gonna have balls, fouls, you're gonna have pop flies that get caught. I mean, it's just about not, for me, it's about not even. I don't care anymore. I mean, I care, but I have. You can ask you can ask Kim. And she'll laugh. There was last week. There was an incident at a show. We were playing. I was playing a full band show at the sports bar, and I locked my keys in my truck, and my stuff is my microphone stand was in there, and I was freaking out, this, that, the other, and finally I was just like, fuck it. I was like, that's it. So now every time something happens, that's just my first thing that comes out. Like, hell, I don't care, dude. So yeah, I mean, I try not to dwell on stuff like that as far as. But yeah, that is a really awkward feeling when you're standing in front of a live audience and you throw something out there for the first time, or you try something out there and you're just like, ugh.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not. Go back to numbers. Go back to the other one.
Yeah.
Go back to playing covers. So, but which is a mad respect I have for comedians, because if you bomb a line,
There's no props.
there's nothing.
There's no.
You can't play a ripping solo to finish that out. You gotta get them with the next one. Or,
That's what Ed Anderson was saying. He said, "I can't imagine being on stage without a prop." You know,
Yeah.
Even during our interview, he had his guitar
Yeah.
with him the whole time.
That was me, and luckily I've gotten comfortable enough with the idea of, when I was in the studio, this video that Kim shot when I was in the studio, I'm sitting there just playing it, because you can't have a guitar in the vocal booth. So
Yeah.
I'm sitting there playing air guitar, I'm sitting there drumming, or I'm sitting there playing the solo like that, and she's cracking up the whole time. She's watching it from the other end of the glass, and I can hear her laughing. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, you don't understand how awkward. My guitar is my suit of armor. I put my guitar on, I'm Superman. Okay, I take that off, I'm Clark Kent. Okay, you can punch me all you want, but when I have that guitar on, when I'm behind the mic or behind the guitar, I'm witty. I'm me. You can't touch me. You can't touch me. Some dude can walk in 6'5", 245 pounds stacked, and I will still go at you when I have the guitar on. But if I get off stage, I'm like, hey, dude, I'm sorry. Please don't take offense to that. So, but no, I mean, it's the same way. Yeah, but this is why I have the utmost respect for comedians, because God knows I wouldn't be able to do it. Because if I tell a joke on stage and it doesn't take, I'm like, all right, Sweet Home Alabama, let's go. So, win it back. So, it's crazy how that happens sometimes. So I have the respect for singers who can get up there and just take the guitar off and grab the mic and kill it.
Yeah.
So that's
Jimbo Henson.
Yes.
Oh.
I can't do that. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm not. Well, maybe one day I can, but right now, if that guitar is not on me, there's nothing coming out of here. There's nothing coming out. So if it comes out, it's terrible. So
It's like Rhonda. I saw Rhonda and Justin the other day, but Rhonda will get on stage and sing songs with people, which without an instrument is really hard to do, because there's always that part where you end up standing around. And
Rhonda doesn't do that.
No, she's good at looking busy. Me, I'm just like, I have no idea. What should I do with my hands?
Yeah. There are times where I'll get up and maybe sing a song with a band or something like that, or if I'm off night, or if I just finished a show and I'm hanging out and singing, there's a band playing or something like that, and they say, get up here and sing. I'm sitting there, I'm like, so I grab a drink. I grab like 2 or 3 drinks. So I walk up there. I was like, give me this pen, give me this drink, and I'm just walking up there and clicking it in or something like that, because I'm like, yeah, we get done. It was killer vocal part, and then 4-minute guitar solo. I'm like,
dipping out.
I'm gonna take 3 shots and I'll be right back. So
Dipping out.
yeah, so it's just one of those scenarios that I don't know what to do with my hands. Yeah. So that's why I thank God my dad put a guitar in my hands when I was 7 years old, because I wouldn't know what to do. There would be none of this right now. So I wouldn't have a chance in hell. But no, it's a lot of it. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it has to do with. Like I said, I can't say this enough. People who can get up there just stone cold with a microphone. Michael Bublé, guys like that, you can get up there, just nothing, just. Yes.
I have a special angst.
Flying high. I'm like, how can you do? No. So yeah, I can't.
That
do
dude
that.
took my gig. Right before Michael Bublé hit it real big.
Yeah.
I was working in a casino, and I was always such a huge fan of the Rat Pack and Dean and all those guys. And so when I started working in a casino, it got even worse, because I was working in a casino, drinking scotch, and listening to Frank Sinatra. So Michael Bublé hit it big, and I was like, son of a bitch, you mean I could have done this and gotten paid? Like, what in the world? Missed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that dude's awesome.
Oh, he's awesome. Yeah, he's one of my favorite artists. So, which throws a lot of people off, because people hear the songs that I play and say, "No, I'm all over the place." So,
but I can't imagine. I can't imagine having to do multiple things at one time. Like, it's hard enough for me to keep track of. You can't even really call me a stand-up comic. I've been doing this for 6 months.
Yeah,
I'm learning, but. Just the thought of keeping things in order versus having to keep things in order on
simultaneously
vocals and a guitar simultaneously.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it. It's like the reason I couldn't play drums.
Yeah,
I can't do that.
And
many
that's
things
a lot
at
of people
once.
ask me, because I marched drumline and indoor percussion for a long time.
Who'd you march with?
Drumline wise, I went to Woodham High School and was there for 3 years, and then right before my senior year, the end of my junior year, is when they closed down Woodham. So then the drumline instructor came over from Pine Forest and recruited the entire drumline to go over to Pine Forest and make it like just one mega machine. So, which was awesome. It sounded phenomenal.
I thought you were going to drop some like Star of Indiana or Blast.
Or Blast, Crossman, stuff like that.
I marched Crossman in 1998.
Really? Well, my drum instructor,
if you say Brian Souls, I'm going to smack you.
No, Tommy Nelson. He marched, I think he marched in 2005, 2006. I might be wrong. I don't know.
That's awesome.
He marched 4th or 5th base. I can't remember. But he marched with Crossman, and then my other instructor, Landis Frazier, marched with I think Teal Sound or Eminence. Might have been Eminence or Teal Sound. I think he worked with Teal Sound, but they both marched indoor percussion WGI. They marched for Music City Mystique up in Nashville, which was at the time, which was the end all be all of indoor percussion.
Really?
So yeah,
cool.
But I marched percussion, and I can't play a set of drums to save my life. I can't do it. I can't. I can do runs, but as far as getting that foot go, it's just not going to happen. No, it's like me driving a stick shift. It's not going to happen. Okay, but I mean, when it comes down to like me playing guitar, because I started playing guitar when I was 7, and I started singing 15 years later when I was 22, 23 years old. So if after playing guitar for 15 years, if you can't do it without thinking about it, then there's something wrong. So
yeah, I can get that.
Yeah. I went from doing that to and it's a little bit of a process when you go into doing singing, as far as singing leads and stuff like that. Granted, don't ask me to sing a lead while I'm playing a solo, but playing rhythm and stuff like that. I was very blessed. It came extremely natural to me. So
yeah,
and a lot of people it does. A lot of people have to try. But for me, a lot of people say, I can't imagine doing that. I can't imagine being behind a guitar and then singing at the same time. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how your hands go this, that, and the other. It's just a muscle memory thing. It's just the same way a mechanic can break down a transmission and rebuild it with his eyes closed. Same thing. But
I get what you're saying, and it makes sense when you say it. But for me to try and think through it, it's gibberish. Because I'm a tuba player.
Yeah, exactly.
So while I'm playing tuba, I can't play tuba and sing at the same time ever.
And see, I never got that either, because I played clarinet and I played saxophone. So I'm thinking of a tuba. You got 3 things there, but you got so many different sounds. I'm like, there's no way you can get all those sounds. And it comes with your embouchure, your posture, and everything like that.
And then do that running across the field.
Yes, and then do that running across the field, and then pivoting and going back the other way. So, no, you can't, no.
That's what we did. Man, we got to play Pat Metheny my last year at Crossman, 98, which was a good time. And it was tons of fun. Yeah. I was in high school at the time, so this was the 90s.
90s, yeah.
Just to date myself.
Yeah.
But you said something earlier I wanted to dig into.
Yeah.
Because you were talking about what it is to be original and how that's become important for you in singing your own songs, and how even if you embellish some line here or there, it's still rooted somewhere in the truth.
Yeah.
And how recently the argument has come back up, not the argument, the discussion has come back up about how the human brain doesn't quite finish developing until 25, approximately, the frontal cortex. Yeah. And so now they're talking about rewriting all these voting age laws to incorporate that. And when I first read that, I was like, okay, now 18-year-old me is pissed.
Yes. Well,
37-year-old me.
18-year-old me was pissed when I found out that you can be like something. You can be 18 over in Louisiana or Mississippi and drink.
Yeah. Beer.
I found that out last year. Remember how pissed I was? Yeah, I was sitting there, and I had a friend that lives over in Ocean Springs. She's like, yeah, well, legally I can go over there and drink as long as I have my legal. She's like, yeah. I said, wait a minute. She's like, yeah, the legal drinking age, if you have a guardian, is 18. If you're in Mississippi, I said, 2 hours west, I'd have been getting faced every night.
You wouldn't have made it this far.
No, I wouldn't have made it. I'd have been in jail. No, but like stuff like that, yeah.
But what does it say about what we know of our own identity that we're starting to learn and challenge how long youth can last? Like, what the counter argument was, why are they trying to force all these people to be children for longer? And my first thought was, how great would it be to be a child for longer?
Yeah.
And so I didn't understand.
I could still eat from the kids menu until I'm 23 years old.
I'm totally cool with that.
I'm fine with that. So, No,
Kitty waffles are totally fine.
they're amazing. Yeah, dinosaur nuggets, awesome.
But then how does that tie into what you and I were talking about our own identities and what it is to be original?
I think a lot of your identity and a lot of originality comes from just the life you live. Yeah. You can have all these laws in the world. You can have someone saying the legal drinking age is 18, legal smoking age is 18, 21, 25, whatever it is, voting age is 25. It doesn't matter what it is. It's not going to change who you are. It might change how you feel. Mm-hmm. Okay, it might change your approach and the way you view things, but it's not going to change who you are. Right. Who you are it's not who. No one can make you. Then we can build them faster, stronger, better. No one's going to do that for you. No, the only way you're going to be who you are is by being yourself and living your own life. Now, if you let those choices and those decisions that other people make, as far as voting ages and stuff like that, I think of voting ages, driving age, how much you're allowed to buy, the legal amount you're allowed to buy this, stuff like that. So.
Let's put it in the context of smoking marijuana, because that's a largely discussed topic, and there's a lot of science that says people under the age of 25 are more susceptible to potential brain, not damage, but because your brain's still developing, it can affect you differently under the age of 25 than over the age of 25. I'm comfortable making that statement.
Okay, yeah.
And so how do we're starting to learn new shit, and we got to incorporate some of this stuff. And how do we incorporate it responsibly, I guess? That's a lot.
Yeah. Well, incorporating this, I like this.
What do you think of all that?
Yes. Incorporating yourself responsibly, yes. I know, and I don't. I know they've proven it. It doesn't stop developing until 25. Mm-hmm. Okay, and even after 25, it comes back to the same thing of me saying you're never going to stop learning anything.
Right.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Granted, there are going to be some things you might forget in order to learn certain things, but when it comes to stuff like that, I'm a firm believer that I don't believe. I think it should be legal. I'm going to say that, okay? I don't think there's anything wrong with it, okay?
It's a plant.
It's a plant, okay? Mm-hmm. Tobacco's a plant, okay? That's my view on it. Do I partake in it all the time? No, okay? Every now and then, that's the deal. I'm not afraid to say that, okay? Mm-hmm. But, and anyone, I know there's going to be some people that are going to be watching, they're like, I don't care, okay? That's just who I am. Yeah. But when it comes to stuff like that, I wasn't really into it when I was 18, 19, 20 years old, or even that much in high school. I drank a lot.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, but when it comes to stuff like that, as far as doing it responsibly or how it affects you, as far as becoming a person and stuff like that, and you said that there's a lot of people out there who have concerns about the way it's going to affect someone's mind or their development at that age, up until that age. To me, it's the same exact thing as the music they listen to. Yeah. It's the same exact thing as the people they hang out with. It's the same exact thing as the environment that they grow up with. Someone who grows up around a certain environment between the ages of 18 and 25, of course, are going to be madly influenced by that environment.
Yep.
Someone who grows up around marijuana or smoking marijuana between the ages of 18 and 25, do I think it's going to affect them mentally? No, I don't. I think it'll affect them mentally in a sense of them having their own views and ideas about things. Yes, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. I completely respect everyone's views and decisions. But until they get straight up in my face and they start just Bible thumping me with something, I'm like, no. But no, as far as that goes, as far as it goes with people just. I don't think it has that much influence as a lot of people think it would. I think there's a lot of, when people say, oh, they're going to be severely affected by this, or this is going to happen, or this is going to happen, I don't think that's the case. I think it's no less dangerous or no less effective than anything else in this world is, as far than music is, than the culture, and than the teachers you have in your life, than the school you grow up with, than the football coach you have, than anyone. I don't think it's any less or any more effective than that. Granted, part of you is going to want to. There's some not necessarily legal ways that you have to go about engaging in that sort of thing, but you're a kid, you're 18, 19 years old. If you're not causing problem, you're not living life, okay? And I'm not saying everyone should go out there and rob a bank or something like that. I'm just saying you're going to get into trouble, okay? My dad told me that. What was the first thing he said? You're going to get in trouble, you're going to make stupid decisions, okay? That's a part of life. But something like that, as far as no, I don't think it affects. Yeah, it affects people, but I don't think it's any more effective than anything else in the world right now.
Yeah.
So,
well, and it's a plant.
Yeah.
Like we said. And I don't think, like you said earlier, I don't think we need to start rolling stuff back to accommodate some new science.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing with the change in the voting age. That's just an example. I don't necessarily agree with that because that's pretty crazy. Like you're talking about changing the whole population's voting age by nearly 10 years.
Yeah.
That'll never happen.
No, that's never going to happen. And a lot of the thing that kind of upset, and that would upset me, even though I'm 27 years old, about to be 28. That upsets me because I got a brother who's 25, just turned 25, or he just turned 24. I'm sorry, and the fact that they do that, he's not going to be able to vote for a other year, and he is one of the smartest, most intellectual people I've ever met in my life.
Right.
Okay, and there are some guys out there who are 21, 22 years old who have a better, clear, level head. And granted, my idea of a level head and clear understanding is going to be different yours than someone else's. But as far as making right decisions and choices and being sound and morally being a decent person, there are some people out there who are 21, 22 years old who are far more advanced than someone who's 35, 36.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do that, I think there should be a test. If you want me to, it's just like there's some people out there that say you should take a test before you have a child. Yeah. So I think
there needs to be a test before you step on a hoverboard.
Right? Yes. Your cognitive abilities, your self-balance and everything. What should I do? Where should I not try and write this out? You know, because you don't want to put it. I mean, I don't know. It's just I really do. I think there should be a test as far as voting and stuff like that. But then it comes back to the fact that there are going to be people who are going to manipulate the tests. There's going to be people who say, well, these questions should be on the test. Well, this is how old you have to be to take this test. I'm like, no. If you change the age to 25 or anything like that, there's always going to be, it's just moronic in my idea. So
I don't think it would ever.
I mean, because I know there's a kid up there in where I was playing up there or when I was up there staying in Nolensville, Tennessee, at the lady's house I was playing at. Her grandson, amazing young boy. He's 11 years old, I believe. Cancer survivor. Yes, this kid is one of the most badass kids I've ever met in my life. He's got the most.
I imagine.
And it's not the fact that he's tough or anything like that. Intellectually, he said, I walked in first time I met him a month ago. His name's Austin. First time I met him a month ago, I walked in the door, didn't know me. He's like, you Tony the singer? I was like, yes, I am. He's like, Austin, nice to meet you. And he was just, he is the most engaging and the most intellectual. Like he was so.
Death has a way of doing that to you.
Yeah, well, that and the fact that he's just he's so engaged. Like he was giving me business advice.
Yeah.
Like at 11 years old, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, let me write this down.
Come on, let me get a note.
And he's like, and that's a prime example of saying that there's people out there, doesn't matter how old you are, okay? You can be 11 years old and have the intellectual mind of someone who just wants to conquer the world. Everything, and when you overcome something like that, that's going to affect you. He's an amazing kid, and he's got a hell of a future ahead of him. But that kid, I would much rather trust that kid with a hard decision than I would some 30 and 40-year-olds.
We've all met those 30 and 40 years old.
Yes, we've all partied with those 30 or 40 years old.
Some days I am those 30 and 40 year olds.
So there are some times when I'm on my off days, or sometimes I'm on stage, I'm like, you really don't want me to answer that question.
Yeah.
So
for about an hour and a half this morning.
Yes. So there's some times, and there are some times, like we were talking about this on the way down. I told her, I said, I'm an asshole. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm an asshole. Some people think I'm an asshole. Some people think you're an asshole. But we know what kind of assholes we are because I'm an asshole to you because you don't like what I'm saying. So, and that's it. And there are sometimes there are some times where I'm that guy that you don't want making that decision. I'm going to let you know. You probably shouldn't ask me that question right now. Come back to me in 2 hours and then ask me the same question. You might get a different answer. Probably not, but you might get a different answer. So that's what I'm saying. As far as that number age and everything like that goes, you can't put an age on intellect. You can't put an age on good moral values. You can't put an age on good decisions. You can't do that. There's an 11-year-old that I know who lives in Nolensville, Tennessee, who is one of the smartest kids I've ever met in my life. One of the most determined kids I've ever met in my life. And there's a 40-year-old that I know who is one of the dumbest people I've ever met in my life.
And I guarantee one of the things that makes those two different is that one of them has had a near-death experience.
That has a lot to do with it. I mean, granted, I've had a couple of those. I mean, I flipped a truck when I was 19, 20 years old. I got into a really bad truck accident. I was driving a 1989 Chevy Suburban, which is a tank.
Yeah.
If anyone has ever seen one of those things, it is a tank.
Yeah.
And the power steering had gotten out of it. So you were turning a tank. And I was on my way home and then just boom, the truck just let it. And I walked away with it without a scratch on me. Should not have. But something like that happens, your perspective, there is no maybe I should look at things differently. You look at things differently. There is no maybe I should try this. There's no, you're automatically doing it, and that's happened. And it's sad to say that some of that majority of the people who think that way, and it's not everybody, but the majority of people who think that way, who have a clear perspective, who have a really good appreciation for things, and really have a depth to their intellect and stuff like that, are people who have had kind of experiences like that. Not even near death. People who have had experiences, whether it be someone that they lost, or whether they almost lost themselves, or maybe it's just they were surrounded by a certain thing. Just, it's the gravity of whatever. Sometimes it takes the gravity of a situation like that to suck out everything else. Just so you have. But I mean, no, like that's just it's the thought of that just irritates me. The thought of someone just, and one of the things, my dad raised me on 3 rules. 3 questions. The first thing he would ask me when we were growing up, you can ask my youngest brother and my youngest sister this. When we were growing up, my dad would always ask us, he said, what don't we like? It's liars. What does every church have? And it's not even just a church. You can go to a bar. What does every church, what does every place have? A hypocrite. And what do I want you to be? A good person. Okay? I was raised on those. And that's why I live my life. If I go to bed at the end of the night and I don't think I'm a good person, I'm going to be up until 7 o'clock in the morning. So, but it all comes, for me, you can't put an age on something like that. You can't put an age on, you can't tell someone, no, you're not allowed to do this because you're not ready. You can't do that. I mean, there are times when you look at someone and you can tell that they're not ready. Yeah. I mean, musically wise, you can look at someone as a guitar player. This guy says, I really want to play in this band. You're not ready. You're really not ready. And I've had mentors tell me you're not ready. And that's one thing. But to look at someone intellectually and tell them that they are not smart enough or they're not ready to make a decision like that, that's why I think, and I know I said it as a joke, I think there should be a test. Okay?
I'm right there with you, man.
Yeah, I really do think there should be a test for a lot of things.
Not a standardized test.
No.
But like a real test that measures shit.
Yes, yeah. Like an ASVAB. I know, and a lot of people don't look at the ASVAB the way that they should. But there should be, I believe that there should be some sort of system, and I use system very loosely. I gotta be careful when you say that word. There should be some sort of process that you go through that doesn't matter what your age is. A 7-year-old can walk in, and if he blows that 36-year-old out of the water, too bad for the 36-year-old. Okay, he wasn't ready. You know. But I believe that that's the way it should be. I don't think you should put an age on who or what you're allowed to do. I mean, driving, there should just be some people you shouldn't drive. You're not going to put a 13-year-old in a car behind a Ferrari. You're not going to do that. So, but
what would you end up with if you wouldn't get a Ferrari back?
No, you wouldn't get a Ferrari back. You would get portions of a Ferrari back. So
get pieces.
You might not even get the 13-year-old back. So, no, you just no, just stuff like that is just. I don't think I'm a firm believer. Because a lot of people told me I was a high school dropout, and but the reason the teachers told my parents, they said, no, he's not smart enough. He can't do it. He's not capable. He can't learn. He's not capable of learning. I dropped out. The very next day, I went over to the college, took the test, done. And then my dad took the results back to him and slammed it on the table and said, "I don't want you to ever tell anyone again. My son's not smart enough because he just proved you wrong." I was just lazy, okay? I just didn't want to do a damn thing. So
that was me too.
I was more preoccupied with sneaking to the school next door and seeing my girlfriend. Okay, no, I think there are people who have it in them to do it. There are people that shouldn't be. I don't think anyone should have a limit or an age limit that says you have to be this high to ride this ride. If you can ride the ride, ride the ride. Okay, that's what I think. If there's a 6-year-old, there's some rides that I can't go on that I know that 11-year-old he would laugh at me because I couldn't go on those rides, and he would kill it on those rides.
Buy the ticket, take the ride.
He would look over at me and be like, "Pussy," like that. But I mean, and that's a good thing right there. I don't think life should say you have to be this tall to ride this ride. I think that if you have the balls to do it and you can ride the ride, ride it. That's what I think. So
from a safety perspective,
safety perspective is a different thing. So,
well, if from a safety perspective, do you tell people for your own safety don't do it, or you need to know this before you do it?
You need to know this before you do it.
That's what we need to be doing.
Yeah,
is more
education. Education. Yeah, it's letting people know that yes, you can do this if you want to, but this is going to happen if you do it. Just like that. Just like saying, walking up to a fence and peeing on an electrical fence. Okay? There's some people out there, they say, despite as many videos are out there on YouTube, a lot of people watching, look, I want to see if that's really real.
I'm going to try
that guy having a seizure on the ground right now, that's a fake seizure he's having right now. So I was
like, doesn't hurt that bad.
Let's go out there 20 miles past the county. We can find a fence right now. We can go ahead and do it. Let's put your theory to the test. Yes. I mean, there are some people out there who are just going to go ahead and just be completely ignorant, okay, to the fact that there are just some things you just don't do. But at the same time, yes, I think that more education is what it comes down to. It's the fact of saying, I think everyone should be allowed whatever they should be able to do whatever the hell they want to do. I mean, and I might be stepping on feet, but I mean, it comes to like buying guns and stuff like that are different. That's a big issue. But as far as doing something like you said, yes, you can do this if you want to, but you need to know. It's just like the waiver you sign. You know, whenever like you go skydiving, okay, this could happen, so you can't go suing us. Even though we made you watch the video, we made you read the assessment and everything like that, you signed it, your initial is down there, your signature's down there, you read it all, you have all the information, whether or not you choose to still do it after you have all the information, it's up to you.
That's on you.
It's on you, not on me. I gave you the information. It was good information I gave you. It was accurate information. If you mess up after this, it's on you.
Well, that raises the question of mentors. You mentioned you've had some mentors in your day, and I think that's something that's missing. I would like to see more of that because I think if we had more mentors, we have less idiots signing paperwork that they don't understand to protect them.
I've had about a handful of mentors in my life. Yeah. I think the first one I ever had, his name was Tommy Nelson, was my high school drum instructor, Tommy Nelson, and they both instilled in me, you know, the discipline it takes to learn, the discipline it takes to get something right. You know, as far as when I go to learn a solo, I want to sit there and I'm going to hash it out over and over and over again until I get it down, because that's what I learned from them. They instilled that in me, which is a good quality. So, I mean, sometimes I might piss off whoever I'm with in the next room because I keep playing the same thing over and over again, but that's what it takes. And I've had my guitar mentor, Don Polk, who passed away a couple years ago. The biggest piece of advice he ever gave me was don't play the guitar, play the song. Okay, and it took me a few years to understand that. And then there was a buddy of mine, Joey Quiggins, who's taught me the business side of things and everything like that. I've been very lucky, and even up to this point, I still have I have a vocal coach who's like a mentor to me now, who's helping me take care of things. But mentors are just there's difference between idols and mentors and heroes and stuff like that. A mentor is someone who truly has the best intentions of making your life better. Right, they want you to learn the very best you can. And all they're doing is it's like a Jedi master and his Padawan. You know, that's all it is. As nerdy as that made me sound, I don't care. I love Star Wars.
The sensei and the student master role. Yeah, yeah.
No, it's
the same thing.
It's the same thing. Okay. Take the rock from my hand. Yeah, it just stuff like that, or just hang up the coat. We also the new Karate Kid movie. Hang up the coat. Hang up the coat. Hang up the coat. Put attitude with it. And then he's just like, I'm sick and tired of hanging up the coat. And then he goes to hit him, and he stops him. And as weird as that might sound, mentors, I mean, I wish there was. There's not a lot of I rarely hear someone talk about their mentor.
Yeah.
I rarely hear some. If I do, they're around my age. I don't hear anyone younger than the age of 22, 23 years old talking about their mentors or something like that. So, this is my guy. He was mentoring me, this, that, the other. And we associate mentors with crafts and stuff like that, as far as musicianship, or even being a carpenter or being a writer or something like that.
A skill,
an acquired skill, yes. And but that's what we usually associate mentors. But I mean, you can be you can have a mentor for life, just somebody you talk to, somebody that guides you, or something like that. Not a psychiatrist, not as something like that. Just someone who gives you a little direction.
A life coach. JP
Yes.
Sears. I mentioned that earlier.
Yes.
You know, he's known as a comedian online, but he's also an emotional coach.
Yeah.
And a life coach, which is very true to the ancient Roman and Greek societies. You know, Plato and Aristotle, the way that those people transmitted education was through mentors, and so they all had, like, it was this public Big Brother program, and that's what Socrates was. Socrates was an educator to the kids of the rich people. Yeah. Which is one of the reasons he was kind of an asshole elitist, but all of those people were professional educators. They were professional mentors in a whole different kind of way.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really neat if we had more of that in our society, whereas as opposed to the model we have now, where a teacher has 20 or 30 kids in a classroom. You know, that doesn't do anything.
No, I don't think that does anything, because you have 20 or 30 kids in a classroom. High school and junior high, elementary school is one thing. So you got 20 or 30 kids in a classroom for 8 hours. Yeah. 6 hours, however long the school day is. I don't know anymore. But supposed to be in high school, you have 20 or 30 kids for 45 minutes. And then they go on to the next person, and then the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. That's not being a mentor. That's being a teacher. You're there for a certain amount of time, and don't get me wrong, being a teacher, I don't want to offend when I say that, but being a teacher is one thing. The term teacher is exactly what it is. You teach someone to do something, you know? You guide them on how to do it. You instill in them. Today's teachers, I don't think they're mentors unless you're taking that time with a specific student. You set aside your personal time and really engage with that student.
And there just aren't enough hours in a day for the best teacher to be a mentor to all of their students. That's no fault of theirs.
No, absolutely no. And I have some friends that are Facebook that are teachers, and I really don't want you to get mad at me when I said that. But
we're on your side.
We're on your side. Trust me, because I wanted to be a teacher when I was in my early 20s. I thought about going back to school, and I wanted to be a teacher. I really did, because the idea, and it's not, and I'm not saying the idea, but the thought of I wanted to be that person to take what I knew, and I wanted to give to someone else. I want someone else to know what I know. Okay, and because my dad runs around the house, he's like, you may think that, but I know what I know. So I'm like, yeah, but I want to know what you know. He's like, you're not ready. I'm like, oh shit. But no, it's just that's why I like college professors and stuff like that. They have like maybe, and when you're a college student, you have like 2 or 3 classes a week, you know, 2 or 3 days a week, you know, and
so I had 5 days a week, and oh man, my college career.
Well, I'm referencing someone that
on average.
Yeah, on average.
On average. You take like 12 hours, 12 semester hours.
12 semester hours. And there's someone that I know right now. She goes to class. She goes in at 8 o'clock in the morning, first class, and she has class on Mondays and Wednesdays. Okay? And
God, I miss that light schedule.
Yeah, right? Yeah. But she's also an amazing person. She's in the Army Reserves. She was a parachute rigger in the Airborne Division when she was enlisted. She's total badass. Yeah, total badass. So, and but she
parachutes. that whole world.
Yeah, that's one of those things. You mean you jump? I mean you mean and I like, and she's the sweetest girl in the world, and she's afraid of needles. And I told her, I said, you mean to tell me that you trust your life with a piece of fabric this thin, jumping out of an airplane, God knows how high up in the air, not knowing whether or not it's going to open or whether it's going to rip because of the air pressure, but you won't let something tinier than this, like just one time, draw some blood and shoot. And some people are like that, you know.
Yep.
Some people have those balls, and I don't. I won't jump out of a plane. No, because I know what's going to happen when I jump out of a plane. I'm going to fall.
Right.
I don't know what might happen. That chute might not open, so that's all I need. So
I don't want to know if I bounce.
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to find out how hard that ground is going to be when I hit it, because when I did, there's nothing I can find out after that. So. No, but with mentors and everything like that, I really do wish there were a lot more mentors. That's why I would love the opportunity to be able to work with someone. Like when of course, right now I can't do it because my schedule and the way I want my life is going, the direction it's going right now, there's just no time for it. But I would love to be someone that my guitar mentor was for me. I would love to be someone like that for someone else. I would love just to instill into somebody. And I think everybody needs someone like that in life, especially every kid. Mm-hmm. Every kid between the age of... Because when you're a kid from birth until like 13, 14 years old, I think you should just be a kid. You know, just be a kid. Just have fun. Do whatever you need to do. Get into trouble. Scrape your arms up. Get bit by fire ants, you know. Run down the street butt naked if you want to away from your mother. Stuff like that. Don't do that. But, you know, just, it's in a sense.
Unless it's the 80s.
Unless it's the 80s. What did Dale Roberts say? He's like, I remember it was back in the 50s and 60s, you could have multiple sexual partners without freedom of disease. So, right. But,
it's a good song too.
Yeah.
Love the one you're with.
Love the one you're with. Yes. But thank you, Daryl. No, I think between that age you should just be a kid. And once you're around 14 or 15 or 16 years old, I think that's the perfect time in a kid's life that someone should come into their lives and really just influence them. Okay, because those are the years that they're really malleable. You know.
Man, I think it's earlier than that. I think
really?
From day one. Yeah.
Day one.
I think kids benefit from having access, permanent and constant access, to someone who can turn the page.
Yeah.
So being within earshot of someone who can just prod a kid with the next question or the next observation. Yeah. Not necessarily have all the answers, but keep the wheels turning.
Yeah.
That facilitates that learning.
Yeah.
And that goes back to, like in ninjutsu, students and children were taught martial arts skills.
At a very young age,
Yeah, they would play games that translated into skills later.
Yeah.
So I think in some aspects it would be cool to have mentors from like a kindergarten age all the way up. I'd be totally
I could see that, but I mean at the same time, me as a person, which is awesome. Me and you are able to talk something like this because your views and my views are two completely different things, but we respect each other. Mm-hmm. So, but for me, when I grew up, it's just for me the same way that people ask me, God, I wish I could play guitar like you. Or I wish you could. Like you could, but the only way I wish you would teach me or this. I'm like, I'm going to teach you, but you might not want to do it because I'm going to teach you the same way that I learned. I'm not going to teach you the way that this guy teaches you. If you want to learn that way, go over to that guy.
How many years do you have?
Yeah, exactly. Some guy asked me, he's like, man, how do you play like that? I sat alone in my room for 9 years learning how to do it, and I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's what I tell people. I said, if you want to have my life, then you live my life.
Right.
And if you want to have the results that I have, you might be able to get them a different way, but if you want them the way I got them, I'm going to show you how I got them. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do this. I'm going to buy you the cheapest piece of shit guitar that you can afford, that your dad can buy at a garage sale, with the strings that high off the guitar when you're 15 years old, and just bleed all over the fretboard. And then 5 years later, when you're able to afford a very decent guitar, you're gonna be like lightning up and down the thing. So that's what happened to me. Like my family, we weren't able to afford a lot of stuff, and I'm very blessed to say that I make a decent living doing what I'm doing. I can keep a roof over my head, gas in the truck, food in my stomach, food in my dog's stomach, you know. But we didn't grow up with it. We had what we needed. Yeah. And there were some times where we wanted stuff, we didn't get it. Of course, being a kid, you're going to be a brat, and you're going to get mad at it. But now looking back on it, I thank God for everything that I had. So, but I'm a firm believer that when stuff like that happens, you want the results that I have, then I'm going to do it. And that's the kind of mentor I'm going to be. I'm going to be like, well, this is what happened to me. If he comes to me with a question or something like that, this is what I did. Mm-hmm. Or if they come to me a question like, I've never had to go through something like that, or I don't know what that's about, but I can help you as best as I can.
Yeah, and that gets back to being original.
Yeah.
And it takes a good mentor to teach someone else how to be themselves.
Yes,
and that's so hard.
And it's sad to say that. And this came back with it's funny you should say that, because I just recently went through that or something like that with over the past couple of months. Right when I signed with Kim, she got me a vocal coach, and I had been affected by so many people that I had played or sung with, and whether it be Logan or Brian or Rhonda or whoever else, I had been affected by them so much vocally that I didn't have a voice. I didn't have my voice. I had no voice. I had a cover voice. I could sound like someone else really good. But as far as, and the vocal coach listened to me, he said, and he heard me talking like this, and then he heard me sing, he said, "What is that?" I was like, "What?" He's like, what is that? Don't do that. And he broke me down. He literally broke me down after years of me doing it one way. He literally took a sledgehammer and broke it down and tried to find. He's like, he was just like, he broke it down, little rebel. Out of all the stuff, he's just like, there it is.
Let's do that.
Let's start with this right here. So, and he's an amazing vocal coach, and I got very lucky that we were able to find it just in time that I went for the recording. But it's the same way about teaching someone to be original. Some people don't know how to be themselves. Some people don't know how to be, original or authentic or just unique. Uniqueness is a word that I love the word unique. I love that word because it's such a beautiful word, because when you see someone or when you meet someone, I love meeting people who are that way. And there are a bunch of friends that'll be like, "Man, you are just alike." Like people say, "You're just like your father," or "You're just like your mother." Yeah, I don't like that. I don't know. I want to be. I want someone.
How little you know.
Yeah. Just maybe the accents or the way you snore when you sleep. You're just like your father, or something like that. But yeah, right. But I love meeting people like that, where I can meet them and be like, "This. I have never met someone like this in my life." I love that. I love that feeling. I love meeting people like that, and hopefully I am someone like that, someone that I can walk into someone's life and be like, "I've never met someone like this before," and I've met a lot of people in my life.
Yeah.
So, but yes, sadly, nowadays, even in the '90s, I would say that you could be original. It would be very easily to be original. You can do whatever you want to, but nowadays you just. There's so much going on in the world today. I thought cliques were only in high school. Oh God, man, no.
Wrong.
Yes, that's what I thought. So, but luckily, I have friends that are all over the place. I have friends that are whatever you want to call them, jocks. I have friends that are country boys. I have friends that are wealthy. I have friends that don't have anything to their name. I have friends that are drifters. They have the wanderlust lifestyle. And one of my best friends in the world that I grew up with, wanderlust lifestyle. He lived he hiked down from New Mexico all the way up to Canada, and he's one of the most he's just one of the most amazing people I've ever met in my life.
That sounds fun.
And he's a musician just like me. We sit at the house every now and then, and we cannot see each other for 3 years, but he'll come into the house, we'll pick up 2 guitars, and it'll be like we never left. It's just the way it is. And some people are like that, but to be an original person, I think it has a lot that, like I said, it goes back to the beginning. What I said, it goes back to the way you grew up. It goes back to who you are, what you let influence you.
Experience.
Yeah. It comes back to experience. Yeah, I've had a lot of experience in my life, and I still have a lot to go. But I've done a lot of stupid shit. And I've watched people do a lot of stupid shit. And I've been involved in it. I've been the result of a lot of stupid shit. Okay? But it's being an original person, being unique, and being just authentic that's something that's a rarity nowadays. It is. It's very rare, and I would love to see more people. I would love to see more mentors out there, especially people who can not break someone down in an emotional sense, but break someone down and be like, no, this is who you're trying to be. This, don't be that person. Don't do that. Be yourself.
Right.
Yeah. They say, and they look around. They say, well, this guy. No. No, well, this guy, or no, well, that guy. No, well, I would like to try and look like. No. Be yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to sit down. I'd like to take a summer with someone just to be like and break them down and be like, you know what? Let's find you. Right. I found you. I could see this in you. I could see this guy in you. This guy in you. Let's find you. Let's go ahead and there you are. Let's do that. Yeah.
Look at that.
Let's find that diamond in the river. Let's do that. So let's just find you. So, and that's good. That's a good feeling to say when at the end of the day, that's why I say, well, like the whole every place has liars, every place has a hypocrite. We want you to be a good person. Mm-hmm. That was something unique from my, because a lot of people there's a lot of people. I was very blessed because there's a lot of kids that weren't raised that way. There's a lot of kids, and I'm not saying that my life is better than someone else's because of that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say that, but I feel very blessed because that gave me and my brother and my sister a very unique side of us. Mm-hmm. We're all the same. We all love each other. We have the same values and stuff like that, but we're all different. Mm-hmm. So, but I really do think that the world, not just this country, but the world needs more people like that. Mm-hmm. The world needs more people who are willing to do that, who are willing to help, just help people. You know, just be a good person. Just help people. Do whatever you can just to make someone else's life better. I'm fine with my life. I love my life right now, and I love the way it's going, and I love where it's going. But there's gonna come a time where I'm gonna be like, you know what? I'm ready to do something for someone else now. So, and I would love that.
There's always the next page, right?
The next page.
The next
I'm
page.
And I've been trust me, I'm still reading the same 2 pages over and over again. I'm like, okay, something's here that I'm not getting yet. Something's here, and that I would love to get to that part where the final chapter comes up, and like, or the final like 3 or 4 chapters comes up, and you're just like, okay, now I can do this. So it's gonna be fun.
And the next page that I'm looking at is I was studying these Buddhist monks that are supposed to be able to transcend their physical form and become light beings. Like that's the page that I'm going to start working on is how you become a being of light.
Yeah.
I'm on that for some fucked up crazy shit.
Like the Yoda ghost.
Yoda ghost. Yes. Like, we're going to Dagobah, we got to see the Yoda ghost.
Yeah. Yoda's like, nope, Dagobah's come to you. So, have you seen that one, the new one?
No, I haven't.
No.
Is it any good?
Oh, it's great. It really is good. It really is good.
That's
So
awesome.
there's a scene in there where Yoda shows up, and he's teaching Luke. Luke's like a Jedi master and everything like that, but he's sitting there like,
Get it right.
He's like, get it right. He's like, you dumb white boy. Like, and it's awesome. So I mean, no.
Good, because everybody needs someone from beyond.
Yeah, that's just another sign right there. If you can't get that from Luke Skywalker that you're never gonna stop learning things, there's no hope for anyone. So
Yeah. Might as well just give it up.
yeah. So, but no, that's always. I had a bunch of. I'm very lucky to say that I had a bunch of people like that in my life, and they're still in my life. Some of them still are. Some of them aren't. But I'm very fortunate to say that I've had a handful of mentors, and they were all really good people. And granted, at the time, I wanted to just punch them in the throat because I thought I was the shit. And I was like, I got this. Go. Get out of here. And then when I mess up, I'm like, so remember that thing you said last week? But no, I'm very fortunate to say that I've had people like that, and it hasn't put me on a course, but it allowed me to be able to find my own course in life, my own path.
There you go.
And I'm very happy with it. And I'd like to be someone like, whether someone has a dozen or has 3 of them in their lives, I'd like to be one of those guys for someone. You know,
Hell yeah, man.
everyone should be. I think everyone should strive to once you accomplish once you do everything you want to do in life, I think or even while you're doing it, I think it's a good idea for everyone to at least try and just be someone like that for someone else. And not everyone has it in them either.
Well, I think that's part of the teaching. You can't know something entirely until you know it well enough to teach it to someone else.
Exactly.
And I'm not the first person to say that.
No.
But that's it's very true that you said your instructor punches you in the throat. Actually, got punched in the throat one time for being
I
an
wanted
idiot.
to punch him in the throat.
No, I actually got punched in the throat by one of my instructors for being a smartass one time.
No, there was times he would sit there and he would grab the drum, he'd shake it, he's like, "Stop being stupid," just like that, or he would just do some random stuff. No, there's just borderline child abuse. But no, there's stuff like that is everyone has. It comes back to being a teacher. I don't think everyone has it in them. But I think there are people out there who have it in them that aren't doing it. Yeah. I do. I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. There are people out there who have the ability, who have it inside of them, but because they didn't have someone, they don't have it. But they have it, but they don't know where it's at because they're not original. They're not unique. So.
Yeah.
But I think if you have a really good mentor in you, or mentor with you, it doesn't matter how many you have. You can have 1 or you can have a dozen. I had 5. So far. Yes, so far. And but I think that there are people out there who have it in them if they have it in them and they feel compelled to do it, I think they should.
It goes back to kindness, like you were talking about. That JP always talks about kindness and gratitude, but it's the way that we come to know the truth is by sharing our perspectives, because nobody has any garner or any more perspective on the truth than anybody else.
Yeah,
it's a collection of perspectives that make up the truth, and so. The more people you have trying to get at something that is true, or trying to get at the truth of something, means you're going to end up with something closer to the truth. Than one person shooting in a dark alley trying to find out, which way to piss. But I thought something was about to go boom.
Yeah, I was listening for it.
Anyway,
but
so mentors and education, it's important, man. It's important, and I agree that we would be better off if we had more of that.
Mm-hmm. There's some more. It goes back to when you have mentors and you're better educated. And it's not to say, I'm not trying to get on the topic of people like not being able to afford a decent education. I'm not trying to say that. But the more educated you are and the more you strive to learn about things and the more you attempt to learn more about things, that's when,
Well, the struggle of trying to learn something new is very rewarding. If everybody just sat down and were able to play guitar the way that you play guitar, as the dreamers come up to you and say, "Man, I wish I could play guitar like you." If I just handed you that gift, it wouldn't mean anything to you.
What is it? The movie Incredibles. The cartoon movie, you see that? He's like, when everyone's super, no one is. That's just what it is. So
it's true.
It's just like there's no fun in the process. Like I remember sitting up late at night, 13, 14 years old, and annoying the shit out of my mother playing the guitar at the end of the house, playing my little electric guitar with my little tiny amp, and just annoying the mess out of her. But she looks at me 10 years later, 10, 12, 13 years later, and I'm recording my first album. I'm playing on big stages. I'm playing great shows and everything like that.
Yeah.
I've been locked in a place that's making me a really good living for the past 3-4 years now. And I'm a high school dropout, So she's like, part of me thinks like, no, you have no other choice. You have to take that. So like, the other part isn't an option. You threw away that option. Now this is all you have. So no, but just... Yeah, if everyone could do that, or if everyone could be a singer, if everyone could be an artist, just draw, or a sculptor, or a scientist, or just if everyone had one of those minds, everything would just be stale. Just true. It would be like those movies you see when everyone's wearing gray. I hate that. It'd be bland. Like if I looked around and saw everyone being just as good at everything as everyone else is, I'd be like, it's distasteful to me. It's sad. It's bland. It's what it is. It's gray.
Well, there's no unique.
There's no originality. Like I can't like I said, that kid Caleb, 19 years old, a phenom on the guitar, and he's probably only going to get better. So hopefully he'll only get better. I hate to think he peaked at 19, but he's a phenomenal guitar player, and I love that because he's 19 years old, and he's that. You can't be me better than me. You can't do that. You can't sing my song better than me. I mean, there's going to be guys out there who can probably sing it a better way, different version. I'll be like, oh, I like that version better. But you're never going to sing that better than me. You're never going to write my songs better than me. You're never going to play my solos better than me.
Right.
That's it. So, but which is why I think there are some people who just shouldn't play music. And there are some people who just should not teach. And there are some people who just should not sing. But I mean, everyone's different. Everyone's original. He's like, I like people say, I wish I could sing. Well, everybody can sing. Technically, everybody can sing. It's just an idea, or it's just a measurement of skill.
Do you wish you could sing, or do you wish other people wanted to hear you sing?
There you go. Right there. That's what it is. Like, do you want to sing? Because you can sing right now. You can go in the shower and sing, Marvin Gaye all night long. But whether or not other people enjoy listening to you see that, that's a completely different thing. That's it right there. So I mean, just like I said, everyone can do. You can do whatever you want. I'm a firm believer you can do whatever you want if you put your mind to it. Almost everything. I'm not gonna. I'm not going to ignore that. No, we're not going to talk about that right now.
Well, I mean, hell, we got modern day Tony Stark and Elon Musk. You know, he's one suit away from being Iron Man.
Yeah, so that's crazy too. I just found out about that like 2 months ago, I think.
That dude's like, ruling the world, man.
I'm like, really? I'm looking around. I'm like,
when Richard Branson, the Virgin Mobile guy, is playing catch up, you're doing some shit.
Yeah, exactly. So.
And the Hyperloop thing, and Elon Musk's Boring Company, and SpaceX. You know, Virgin Mobile tipped their hat or tossed their hat in the ring for the end of the rocket program.
Yeah.
And that's unbelievable. The fact that we're basically privatizing space.
Yes.
And you got guys like Musk and Bronson that are leading that pack. It's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing. It makes me wonder what the fuck the government's doing. And
well, you never.
You know what was his name?
Lance Bass.
No, there's a rapper that he brought more electricity to the continent of Africa. What was his name? 50 Cent?
No, not 50 Cent. I know you're talking about. Though.
Whoever you are, you deserve mad credit, man.
Yes.
It's a new era, and I think that ties back into the mentor thing. You know, more and more people are less concerned with making $1 million and more concerned with touching 1 billion people.
Yeah.
And not in a pedophilia kind of way.
Yeah. But that was, you gotta disclaim. You gotta, and it's sad.
Gotta be easy.
There's a lot of shit going on in the world. There's a song. Well, the way Numbers, one of my songs. It's a song. It starts off, and I jokingly say this at the beginning of every song, but it's true. I said, "This is a song about a consensual decision that my parents made back in 1989 that caused me to show up 9 months later." And then I have to let them know I have to say consensual because with all this shit going on in the world today. I don't want people to be like, oh, well, he raped her or she raped him. Or this, I'm like, no. I'm like, it's sad that you have to say that now. Yeah. So I don't have to say that, but if I do, it's going to leave a thought in people's minds, and I don't want that thought in people's minds.
No.
But there are some times I'm just like, I don't care what you think about me, but I do care what you think about my parents. But no, I mean, but it's sad to say stuff like that. I mean, just when it's funny that you said that, not in that kind of way, but. There's people out there when I play music. People ask me what my definition of making it was when I first started. So my definition of making it is just a handful of people wanting to show up to a show strictly because they know my name's on the show. That's it. Now my definition of making it has changed because originally my definition was because I want to play in front of 1,000 people. Floribama did that for me. So and now I want to play in front of 5,000 people. I played a festival that did it for me, and now. My definition of making it is when I play one of my original songs when the crowd sings it back to me. That's where I'm at. That's a great feeling.
Yeah.
And it's one thing when you sing like Sweet Home Alabama or something like that, and they sing or Friends in Low Places and they sing the whole first verse. That's one thing. When you do it for someone else's song, but to have that feeling in your own song, that's my definition of making it now. And it's starting to come back around where there are more people concerned about less about making $1 million than touching 1 million people. Mm-hmm. So, and that's an amazing thing. There are some people, because I wouldn't know what to do if I had $1 million. Like a guy like me who grew up with nothing, I would probably be like, I don't know what to do with my hand. I don't know what do I do with this? Like, you spend it on what? What do I need?
Right.
What do I need? I'll buy a dog. I'll get another dog, but that's all I can do. So, but I won't buy guitars. I probably buy a bunch of guitars. But it's awesome to see. And it used to be, and it gave me. I had such low expectations for humanity for a little while because it got to the point where there were so many people concerned about just I want this, I want that, and the other, but they didn't care about anyone else. Just that's one of my biggest turnoffs of a person is when they care more about themselves than someone else. Which there are times in your life where you need to do that. You need to focus on yourself. You need to take care of number one first. I understand that, but what turns me on to a person, whether it be spiritually, emotionally, romantically, or anything like that, what turns me on to a person more is when they are more concerned with the well-being, more concerned with touching someone else's own self-gratification. You know what I mean?
Say that one more time. They're more concerned with touching someone else's life than they are about their own self-gratification. Yeah,
you know?
gotcha.
So, not self-gratification, gratification, because you can be completely gratified with helping someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Selfless
people. Selflessness. Yes. So selflessness is what really attracts me to someone. whether it be intellectually, emotionally, physically, romantically, or anything like that. Selflessness is what attracts me to someone else, because I'm one of those people that, yes, I want to get my stuff done, and I want to make sure I'm taken care of, but at the same time, I want to make sure I don't want anyone. I hate seeing people hurt. I hate seeing people go. It breaks my heart. You can call me one of those people, whatever you want, whatever the term is, that you just feel for other people a lot.
But don't you think more and more people are realizing how empathetic they really are,
yes,
because of access to information
yes,
now?
Yeah.
Like
and
everybody having smartphones.
Yeah. And there's a lot. My dad has a smartphone now. Doesn't know what to do with it, but every now and then I'll sitting on there. He's like, "Hey, did you know this?" And then he always sitting there, and I'll be like, "Man, I was feeling really good about myself until you said that." But no, empathy. I think everyone should be more empathetic, and you can still be a strong, sturdy person while being empathetic. You can be there's some of the strongest men I've ever met in my life. Mm-hmm. My oldest brother Roy, he's in the Navy. He's a corpsman, and he's one of the strongest men I've ever met in my life. Emotionally, sometimes he's a little closed off. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just the way that he is. Mm-hmm. But he is one of the most empathetic person I've ever met in my life, and he's also strong as hell, emotionally and physically, mm-hmm, and intellectually. One of the smartest guys I've ever met. You would like him. Yeah. But people like that, I think that everyone should have some bit of empathy in them. What turns me on, and it breaks my heart to say that there are some people who have been burned so much that their empathy is gone.
Yeah,
they're selfless. Their
trust
is gone. Everything like that. There are some people that have a brick wall around themselves that you can hit with a jackhammer and an atom bomb, and they're just never going to break because of the way they were treated. And it's sad to say. I mean, I used to be one of those people. I used to have, my heart was guarded for a very long time. Yeah. And then I met some people that just, not even people that I were romantically involved with, just people in general that came into my life and gave me hope and gave me a new perspective and be like, you know what? I found it. I found it back. It took me a minute to find it, but I found it again because other people had it in them and they shared it. So, but,
all right, we've been at this for an hour and a half, and I can definitely keep going. We've got about an hour worth of memory card left.
What time is it?
That's what I was going to ask. I don't know what your schedule's like.
It's 3:50,
but we've been at this for 2 hours.
Let's give it 10 more minutes. You can give it 10 more minutes.
No. Well, let's do this. I don't have any other major topics, and we have covered a massive amount of stuff. And I guess we could leave it somewhere around, if people want to hire you as a mentor, how do they find you?
How do they find me?
Tell them where to find
hire me as a mentor. Man.
Tell them where to find your music.
Oh, right. Okay.
We'll get out of here.
Yeah. To find my music, not mentor, because I'm a shit mentor. No, my music, you can find me most of the time at the Floribama.
Right.
Because I'm there about 2, 3, 4 nights a week. This week I'm playing Bubba's Seafood in Gulf Shores from 3 to 6 with Melanie Maroney. She's coming down to play those songs with me, play those shows with me. That's Thursday night. Friday night, or tomorrow night, I'm actually in the main room at 7 o'clock with Bruce Smelly. And then Thursday I'm at Bubba's from 3 to 6 with Melanie Maroney. Friday, I'll be 10:15 in the main room, my show. Kevin Swanson is going to be playing with me. And then on Saturday, I'll be out at the Intercoastal, out at the wharf at Bobby's place from 6 to 10. I'll be out there. But if you want to find any of my music, go to my Facebook page, Tony Ray Thompson Music. It's on there. Got videos, links to everything, links to where you can buy the T-shirts at and stuff. I don't have any, but I'm gonna get you a T-shirt.
I'll try and have one. I'll try and have a Truth, Love, and Peace T-shirt for you by the time.
Awesome.
By the time there.
But YouTube, Tony Ray Thompson, Instagram, Tony Ray Thompson, Snapchat. My manager says I have a Twitter, but I don't know. I never use it. So there could be stuff roaming around on there that if you see tweets, just don't. It's not me. But just anything, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, Reverb Nation, all of it's under Tony Ray Thompson. So just
Tony Ray Thompson.
Tony Ray Thompson. That's it. And whether or not you're a fan of it, I don't know. So, but
it doesn't matter. Listen,
I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now, and I enjoyed the hell out of this right here.
This is a blast.
It's been a minute, dude. I needed something like this, dude.
Well, it's good to catch up with you. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Promise us now you'll come back soon.
Absolutely, yes.
All right, and then we'll turn all this off. Facebook, bye. Peace. YouTube, bye. Bye-bye.